Elevate, day to day, 'cause you never stop. Keep going. With time, this time.
As a kid, you make it stronger, you know the phrase. And we done came a long way, but we okay. You got some people that you love and you hope they stay. You get to thinking about the past like those were the days. You get to missing what you lost cause it's not around. Don't look what you ain't got now, come and get you down. Life is too short like an open rap, but we gotta close the chapter. Life is funny, so let go some laughter.
Don't forget, your time is here. Get it in, it's gonna make you strong. Get mine. Elevate, day to day, 'cause you never stop. Keep going. With time, this time, this time, this time, this time, this time.
What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the recap of last night's fight with Bivol versus Beterbiev. We're also going to talk about some potential fights upcoming, and also we'll jump into the Fury versus Usyk 2 in December when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ringwalk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and today we are live. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in December. Tyson Fury versus Usyk 2. The game plan for each guy. What is Usyk going to bring different in the rematch? What is Tyson Fury going to bring different in the rematch? Is what I want to know. So, my opinion on it is that I feel that Tyson Fury will weigh maybe a little bit more than last fight. So he'll come in with the mindset that I want to stop Usyk early, so 4 rounds in, maybe midway, 6 rounds, really try to up the ante on Usyk and apply the type of pressure on Usyk as he did when he fought Deontay Wilder in their second fight. Now, if you rewind back to the Deontay Wilder versus Fury first fight, there was the more aggressive Deontay Wilder on the front foot, on the hunt, trying to cut off the ring, which he was kind of struggling to do so because Fury is so nimble on his feet. But as we saw twice in that fight, the first fight, Deontay Wilder was able to land his infamous right hand and drop Tyson Fury to the canvas on 2 occasions, in which Tyson Fury did rise to his feet, and that within itself was a phenomenal feat for Tyson Fury. And it goes to show his the powers of his recovery. That yes, he may go down, but as of now, up to this date, he's always got back up. He's never been out for the count. Now, the first fight, of course, The count was somewhat controversial, but it is what it is. Um, so for the second fight, Usyk versus Fury, uh, people bring up Deontay Wilder sometimes, but when he's facing somebody like Usyk, it's like apples and oranges because Usyk's fighting style is nothing like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's fighting style is nothing like that of Oleksandr Usyk. You have two way different styles. Uh, Obviously, what Deontay Wilder has over Usyk is he has more arm reach and he has a right hand power that no other heavyweight possesses a right hand like Deontay Wilder. But to make up for not having the type of power that Deontay Wilder has, Usyk has faster hands, faster feet, uh, lateral foot movement. He understands you don't go back in straight lines, so he understands the pivots and going left and stepping to the right. He also lands his punches from odd angles. So he does a lot of things different than Deontay Wilder. And foremost, instead of landing just that one power punch like Deontay Wilder would land on his opponent, Oleksandr Usyk is a value puncher. So he's going to punch and land with punch accumulation. And I've always told people in different boxing chats and just in general, I feel like punch accumulation many a times is worse than just one punch. Uh, the doctor would tell you they wouldn't advise anybody to take, you know, high amount of blows to your head. However, when you're knocked out with that one punch, that's what it is. Whereas a person like Usyk, who doesn't have the type of power of a Wilder, he's hitting you, he's hurting you, but after he hits you with a left or a right, he's following up with that opposite hand. So if he catches you with the right that hurts you, that left behind it, which is his power shot, is going to hurt you that much more. And then he's coming with a fury of and an arsenal of different punch variations. And that's what we saw in the first fight. I believe it was round 9 when he hurt Fury very bad and had Fury on shaky legs. Fury, being that he was letting Usyk be the aggressor and was on his front foot to put pressure on Tyson Fury, Fury kept going back. And as a result, when he was hurt by Usyk, he went back into the ropes and the ropes held him up. And from that point, Usyk jumped on him. He saw that he had his man hurt. So he jumped on him, knocked him from this side of the rope, and it was like a ping pong ball. He went over from this side of the rope to this side of the rope and was held up each time. So I think in the second match, uh, I think both guys will take the approach of trying to take the opponent out in the earlier rounds. I think the first round they'll fill out each other, but I think by the third and fourth rounds, the heat will really start turning up in that rematch. Um, I see Fury being more aggressive, trying to do more clinching in this fight, trying to use his weight advantage and trying to possibly smother or lean on the smaller Usyk. But I see Usyk being smart enough to evade those advances by using his lateral foot movement, uh, zigzagging in and out to where Fury will never be able to really uh, clinch and hold him. Um, I feel like in this match, uh, Usyk would turn it up a notch a little bit earlier than he did last fight. Um, Now, word is circulating. I believe it was Andy Lee or maybe someone else, but they were saying that Tyson Fury couldn't prepare for his first match against Usyk due to the fact that um, he was cut in sparring prior. If you remember, he suffered an eye injury. So they were saying because the eye injury hadn't healed, that he really couldn't spar in preparation for Usyk in their first match. So he claims that that very reason will be the reason why he will look so much better in December because he'll have proper training, proper sparring, proper preparation for this upcoming rematch. Uh, in my personal opinion, I don't know that I believe that, but if it is true, then it is what it is. But I feel that Usyk is just so much different than any opponent that Fury has ever fought that he didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And I know now Usyk also knows there were times where Tyson Fury had success going to his body and certain things he was doing. And I know that Usyk will be steps ahead in the rematch, and he's going to make the alterations and the adjustments to try to stop Fury from capitalizing um, on those pivotal moments of the fight. And that's not to overshadow or overlook Tyson Fury. He as well is going to make adjustments because he's going to realize on the punch that stunned him why it happened and what he did wrong. So he's going to make adjustments in the rematch as well. I think the rematch to me will be better than the first fight. That's my opinion because I see Fury trying to go after Usyk and Usyk having to use his foot movements and his speed a lot more in the rematch to offset and to diffuse the attack of Tyson Fury. He's going to want to negate a lot of things that Tyson Fury is doing. So if you're in this chat, drop something in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on everything with the rematch of Fury versus Usyk 2. Um, Now, last night, we were able to see one of the best light heavyweight battles uh, of the modern era of boxing of today. Two guys of Russian descent, two guys that had both had knowledge of each other, Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, or Beterbiev, some pronounce it that way. Um, the fight went much like I had anticipated, and I probably spoke about it in a prior segment on this episode, on a different episode. I felt like Bivol would be very tactical, very meticulous in his approach, and strategically win rounds with his clever foot movement, and it was going to give issues to Beterbiev. Well, much like Beterbiev has done to past opponents, he was able to turn up the notch around fifth round, go to the body of Bivol a little bit, in which seemed to be effective, and it seemed to bother and hurt Bivol in that fifth, maybe sixth round. But Bivol has pretty good recovery. He has a pretty good chin because he took a lot of good shots. Uh, that fight for sure was a tough call. Uh, Many felt that what the ending result decision was that it was a majority decision win for Beterbiev. Me and my three other friends that were watching that fight, we all felt like Bivol won. Nobody there felt that Beterbiev won, although he was awarded the win. And then on social media, in the boxing group, shout outs to y'all, Frank Muhammad, everybody overseas in the UK. Uh, I agree to disagree with many of you because I understand your aspect was that Beterbiev was more of a selective aggressor in moments. So I do feel that he had his good moments. He did back up Bivol, pushing him back, had him visibly hurt. But I felt like Bivol did enough early in the fight to secure at least four of the early rounds, if not, yeah, I would say at least four of the early rounds, to where he would only need three of the late rounds to, you know what I'm saying, to win the fight. Because it's 12-round fight. I felt like he won 7 rounds and that Beterbiev won 5 rounds. Um, so I definitely would say Bivol won 4 of the first 6 rounds and at least 3 of the late rounds. I gave him round 12 as well. But some people said that they felt Beterbiev won rounds 10, 11, and 12, which are the biggest rounds towards the end of your fight, what they call the quote unquote champion rounds. A lot of people said Beterbiev won all 3, but I felt like he did not, and that Bivol won round 12, and that was the round that took him from 6 rounds to 7 rounds to win by 2 rounds. Um, so there's a lot of people upset about the scorecards, people jumping on their personal post. I made a post myself. However, I didn't go so far to use the words too loosely. I didn't say that he was robbed, that it was a robbery. I just said that he was slighted, meaning that I felt like he won the fight, that Bivol won the fight. He did enough to secure the victory, and and it could have also been a draw, one of those type of fights that is very tight. Some people might say Beterbiev won 6 rounds, Bivol won 6 rounds, therefore a draw. It was even. Um, but I just felt like Bivol did enough to edge the win, but unfortunately he came up short in the eyes of judges, and the fight was awarded to Beterbiev. It was definitely a very, very good fight, and talks are by Turkey Alashake. Shout out to Turkey Alashake for making great fights like this happen. Uh, they're saying that Turkey Alashake wants a rematch. He already wants a rematch to happen with Beterbiev versus Bivol. I've seen different people in group chats or comments that don't want to see that rematch right off. They prefer to see Beterbiev take on the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. So I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, obviously, Bivol stood his ground. He's the only opponent to make it 12 rounds because you got somebody like Artur Beterbiev who had a 100% knockout ratio, and that ended yesterday when he was taken to a decision win. So Bivol did something nobody else had done, and he survived all 12 rounds. Um, so I don't know. He's definitely worthy of a rematch, but a lot of people want to see David Benavidez versus Beterbiev. I I can go with either one because if we get but if we get Bivol again, we know it's going to be another boxer versus slash puncher boxer. But if we get David Benavidez, I think we'll see more of an exchange with him and Beterbiev. That can prove to be dangerous for either fighter. Benavidez has pretty good power. Beterbiev obviously has power. They both have power to hurt each other. However, one thing they share in common, both opponents have touched the canvas. So we do know that Beterbiev can be hurt. And in the same aspect, David Benavidez can be hurt. So it's one of those fights that I could definitely see the intrigue behind it. I could definitely see Turkey Alashake, if enough people talk about it, it may happen, but I don't know that it would happen before the rematch of Bivol Beterbiev 2. But either way, I'm satisfied as a boxing fan that either way it goes, I'll be happy because what we saw yesterday was definitely a great matchup, and the light heavyweight division right now is pretty lit. With David Benavidez finally being at 175, he's up there, and I think they talked about Morrell and some other guys. So I'm looking forward to what the light heavyweight division has in store for the future of boxing. Okay, so other things I would like to see. Hopefully, we see next year. So, if you had your picks of the upcoming year of 2025, what would you say would be your New Year's resolution fights for 2025? I want to see Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. That's the one we definitely all been talking about, and I think it needs to happen next year. It needs to happen. Hopefully, Tank will get outside of his normal business line of thinking and step outside the box and give Turkey Alashek a chance. Because one thing for sure, he has the financial means to make Tank versus Shakur Stevenson happen, and he can make it happen over here in America. It doesn't have to be in Saudi Arabia. They can make it happen over here, like they did with Terrence Crawford and other fighters when they fought in California. Um, so, what do you think about that option there? Is that what you want to see for 2025? Uh, Tank versus Shakur Stevenson. Uh, I'm hearing circulating, not sure if it's true, but potentially another rematch with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. With all the melee behind that, the accusations of Ryan Garcia taking performance enhancing drugs, also known as PEDs. Do you think that it's in the best interest of Team Haney and his family to put him at risk of fighting somebody that they found uh, had performance enhancing drugs in his system? Uh, I don't know. I know a lot of people want to get their get back, but do you trust somebody who's been found having extra stuff in their system? Now, me personally, if I had to give my 2 cents on it, it would be that I felt like stylistically that Ryan Garcia was too much for Devin Haney, and he was getting the drop on Devin Haney first. The more meaningful punches were delivered by Ryan Garcia. The pressure of Ryan Garcia, the fact that he was just as tall, if not taller than Haney, with and very rangy, seemed to be problematic for Devin Haney. Um, so, what are your thoughts, people? Um, Devin Haney is a boxer that I do like. Um, I would like to see him versus Shakur Stevenson. If we can't get Tank versus Shakur, I would love to see Devin Haney versus Shakur in 2025. I'm down for that as well. Uh, Maybe Tank versus Ryan Garcia rematch. A fight like that. If we can't get, if we get those four guys, if we can't get Tank versus Stevenson, Tank versus Ryan Garcia 2, and Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. That'll work for 2025 as a New Year's resolution for me in my eyes. So we're going to see what the future holds with these up and coming young Thundercats of the boxing world. Um, see what else do we have out here? I haven't heard much from Frank Martin. I would like to hear more from him on what his intentions are for the future. Frank Martin, as we saw, he was knocked out by Tank Davis, but prior to that, uh, he had no losses, and Tank is the highest level opponent that he's fought. So, being that he fought him, maybe he wants to fight. Uh, Hopefully, he can get somebody like Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin, or Frank Martin and Devin Haney. It's just so many different options in that weight division that I think they can make happen. And I hope something happens really, really soon because you don't want these guys to sit on the sideline too long. They need to be fresh. They don't need to collect ring rust. They need to stay out there and be fighting maybe if not every 6 months, every 4 months. You know, to keep them fresh and keep them at their peak ability in boxing. Um, Now back to heavyweights. A few other fights for 2025 I wouldn't mind seeing in the heavyweight division. Uh, if Andy Ruiz is healthy and his hand is better, the rematch with him and Big Baby Miller. But if Ruiz needs time for his hand to heal, I would like to see Big Baby Miller versus AJ, unless AJ does his rematch with Dubois, if that is to happen next. Um, but if that doesn't happen, I think AJ should go for Big Baby Miller. And Daniel Dubois would likely want to fight the winner of Tyson Fury versus Usyk. And I feel, in my opinion, Usyk is going to win the rematch. So if that ends up playing out that way, then I would like to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, the biggest one of the biggest fights of Britain. That would be bigger than AJ versus Dubois. To see Tyson Fury versus AJ. So what do y'all think in 2025? Who do you want to see in the heavyweight division? Who do you want to see in the welterweight division? Who do you want to see in the lightweight division? Now, as far as like the guys that are at 154, um, got Bud Crawford there, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bud Crawford, from what I was hearing, would be fighting the winner of Errol Spence versus Fundora at 154. Um, so now that Bud is no longer at 147, he's at 154, and Spence is at 154. I'm just looking forward to see how Spence is going to react in the ring versus a much taller, rangier Fundora, who's very, very tall, very, very lanky, and who's going to be awkward. If Spence can handle him in a pretty, I would say, if he could stop him mid rounds to maybe round 10 and stop him, he can make a statement. And I think that would make the Bud versus Spence rematch even better. However, I feel like style wise, Bud Crawford just has a certain edge. Even though I'm an Errol Spence fan, a diehard fan of Errol Spence, I feel like Bud might just be a little too much for him, regardless of the weight differential. The fact that they fought at 147 and now they both went up to 154, I feel like Bud just has something about him that he will be that boogeyman for Spence. And as we saw in the past of boxing, there's a lot of boogeymans for certain fighters. There's certain fighters that they may beat 49 opponents, but on that 50th fight, it's just that one guy that has their number. A prime example, like Muhammad Ali, one of my all time favorites. He always had issues whenever he fought Ken Norton, and Ken Norton was smashed by George Foreman. Had a good fight with Larry Holmes, but when it came to Muhammad Ali versus Ken Norton's style, his defensive guard, his style of fighting just gave Cassius, well, not Cassius Clay, but Muhammad Ali so many issues. He just couldn't figure him out, and he struggled with him. That could be the same scenario, similar with Errol Spence. That Bud Crawford style is just a style that he'll never be able to dissect it or be able to get the upper hand um, on Bud Crawford. I was not necessarily a Bud Crawford fan, but seeing all that he does, his skill level, I have amazing respect for him, and I'm starting to like him a little bit more uh, because he's very, very polished, man. His style, he's a switch hitter. He can fight orthodox, and he can also fight southpaw uh, left hand. Um, he's definitely one of the top guys, and I guess they call him the pound for pound for a reason. Also, with Canelo Alvarez winning his last fight, what do y'all think he will do next? You know, is he going to stay at 168, or will he dare to be great like people said he did versus Bivol when he came up short? And will Canelo try to fight David Benavidez at 175? You know, would that happen in next year? Because we could definitely say Canelo is getting older. He's fought a lot of fights, and the only fight that people really want to see is Canelo versus David Benavidez. They feel like he's done everything else, but he just hasn't crossed that road that leads to David Benavidez. And a lot of people are saying, what has David Benavidez done? Well, what had Munguia done to earn a shot at Canelo? What has Ryder done to deserve a shot at Canelo? But yet they got the opportunity. So why is David Benavidez always being isolated when it comes to him wanting a shot at Canelo Alvarez? That's my question. And maybe you guys in this chat can let me know what you feel about that. You know, why is it that Ryder, Munguia, I can't think of the last guy's name that Canelo just beat, but he was the Puerto Rican fighter. Why is it that they got an opportunity at the Golden Goose, which is Canelo Alvarez, but when it comes to David Benavidez, he's always getting swerved? Why is that? You know, it has to be a reason for it. And people are saying that, oh, Canelo would just walk through him and David Benavidez won't trouble Canelo. Well, if what you say is true, then why wouldn't Canelo take an easy payday? If it's that easy of a task, and David Benavidez is in y'all eyes not on the level or up to par to Canelo Alvarez, why don't Canelo get that easy money? Because we know Canelo is all about the Benjamins, but I guess the question would be, does he want his legacy cemented, saying that I also beat the feared David Benavidez? So it's so many guys out here and so many different scenarios of fights that could happen. I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan, so I would like to see him in there, get some of these upper echelon guys, because as we know with Caleb Plant, he ducks no smoke. He's fought the likes of David Benavidez. He's also fought Canelo Alvarez. So pretty much being that he fought those two guys that are up here, Caleb Plant will fight anyone. And that's why I respect him. He's what I call a throwback fighter. That he pretty much is like, whoever wants to smoke, I want to smoke too. Let's get it on. He doesn't pick and choose who he feels like their style will suit his style. He wants the most complicated opponent, and he wants to lock horns. So shout out to Caleb Plant, one of my favorite fighters. Um, and as far as the Charlo twins out of Texas, I haven't heard much of Jermel or Jamal Charlo. If you have heard from them, or maybe you know them personally, if you're from Texas, what is going on with these guys? What's going on with Charlo brothers? I would like to hear from them, and I would like to see them in that square ring again. The Charlo boys. They were red hot for a while, and now I haven't heard a whole lot about them. But I'm hoping that they come out of the woodworks and have a couple of fight planned for the near future, and then this upcoming year of 2025. All right. So if you have any comments, um, let me know what's going on, and I want to address a few things. So hold on 1 second, and we can continue. Hey, cousin DD down in the ATL. Shout outs Atlanta, Georgia. Cuzzo, thanks for tuning in to my live stream. Much love to you down there, down south. And Scoob, thanks for tuning in. Um, hey, anybody in particular, Scoob, that you want to see in 2025? Name a few matchups that you would like to see. Also, if there's a certain topic in boxing that I can address, please let me know, and I will try to get it in the next week or two on my live stream. So, if you like these live stream, hit the thumbs up, please. Please share, hit the bell notification, and just keep spreading this love in this boxing community like we're doing right now. And like I say, big shout outs here back home, Cincinnati, Ohio, 513. Hey, let's get it, baby. Um, so as always, I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next round. Peace.